How about we take a few steps back? Or should I say, 3,000 miles back? In early 2015, Zach moved back to Pennsylvania to attempt to start his new life.
So I can't really say I remember that much that happened in 2016, not because I genuinely forgot, but mainly because there wasn't that much that actually happened in 2015 when it came to web series, characters. It was mainly just me trying to be a functioning adult while also making some Smash Wii U and 3DS DLC speculation videos, some more Five Nights at Freddy's content. I know I tried to do stuff like there was this series called Fucked Up Fridays that I was trying to do, and I forgot what that was even about, but I knew I had like sort of a quote-unquote set. There was like a foresty area behind the apartments we lived in Dover, and I used that as sort of a quote-unquote set for Fucked Up Fridays. Yeah, demonetized. I know I tried to do like a 5-year anniversary to Tug. Back then known as Mr. Tuggles. I was going to do a big Q&A, but I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I got lazy, alright? I do know that the JETRAY Era version of Nat the Banana Ghost appeared for the last time in a 2015 video. I believe it was the top 10 things that scared me as a kid that shouldn't as an adult. Whoa! One of those kind of videos, which was horrendous because I tried to do a two-parter with it, and it just wasn't that good. It was completely improvised. I mainly script content now, minus this. This is improvised only because it's about my life. So that being said, not much happened. It was uneventful. I will say this though, one thing that happened that was behind the scenes that really pissed me off. I made a video called the top 10 removed content from Kingdom Hearts, which meant that every section on the list talked about removed content from each Kingdom Hearts game, even having a section dedicated to Final Fantasy. What happens is that the video is almost done, and Did You Know Gaming decided, oh hey, how about we release our Kingdom Hearts 2 video, or part 2 I should say. And I was like, alright, not a big deal. I released it tomorrow. I believe it was on the same exact day. This podcast of Kingdom Hearts YouTubers decided to be like, hey, let's make a podcast where we talk about removed content from Kingdom Hearts. And I'm like, son of a bitch! You have no idea how much that happens where it's like, I think I make an original idea. This is so cool. And all of a sudden, like 20 different YouTubers do it at the exact same time. You're watching me. I know you are. Get out of my brain. So that's not really much that happened in 2015. Mainly just me dealing with the strike that I got from the year before, Five Nights at Freddy's, Smash Wii U 3DS, that one Kingdom Hearts thing, and empty promises. But don't worry, 2016 is even less eventful.
Well, that was uneventful. And how about something even less eventful? Hiatuses. Welcome to 2016, the year that everyone hated because it became a meme to do so.
So December of 2015 rolled up, and the lease went up on my apartment, and I didn't have enough money to really keep it. So I decided to go ahead and find a new apartment, which was not easy, because I didn't have that much money, and I wanted to find something cheap. I thought I found a steal, and I have very low standards, but even I thought, okay, no, Here's what happened. We went into the place, they were giving us a tour and everything. It was big, spacious, and the first room wasn't too great. I thought, you know what, it is cheap. I shouldn't expect, like, a polished floors, marble walls, and everything. I go into the next room. There's no upstairs, right? And they have stairs that go up to it. The stairs are made out of plywood. No carpeting, no refining whatsoever, just straight up plywood. And they're like, oh yeah, those stairs are done. Oh, really? Those are really completed. The kitchen was all black, and not black in the sense of like gothic or anything else, or the walls are painted black. It's like moldy, disgusting. The appliances are from like another timeline. And then I go upstairs, right? Maybe we can salvage it. Maybe upstairs won't be as bad. It was huge, spacious. The bathroom was unnecessarily big. Creepily big, actually. They got like this old ass bathtub, and it's like, wow, really big for something that doesn't need to be. And I noticed something. There's a Bible in every room. Now, I don't have a problem with religion, But what freaked me out is, why was there a Bible literally in every room? I was terrified to remove the said Bibles or even nudge them in fear of Satan crawling out and ripping into my anus. So I decided, yeah, this isn't gonna work. I decided to move with family for a little bit to get back on my feet, and I rushed out again, I believe a few weeks later. It was in the same place that, I'd say maybe it was an apartment, I don't know, sort of a house, I guess. It was one of those houses where it's attached to a bunch of other houses. But anyway, it was in the same town, East Berlin, and that's actually where I recorded the Make an Undertale video. But it didn't last long, despite the fact it was a really nice place. Money caught up again. I shouldn't have rushed into it. That's my problem, though. I shouldn't do that. So, my family decided, how about we just help getting back on our feet? Because it wasn't just me that was going through problems, it was them too. Everyone was, including my sister. So I decided, alright, that works. We can help each other out. So we got Wi-Fi there too, but the Wi-Fi that was only available in that area, which is literally right up the street, don't know how that works, they decided, oh, it's data-based, kind of like your phone, so basically that means if you run out of data, Wi-Fi is going to be incredibly slow, to the point where the website's just going to give up loading. I'm like, son of a bitch. So that's why I was only able to upload like 12, maybe 13 videos, and I'm pretty sure half of them were just update videos. So, really uneventful. Not much happened. I believe the story of looking into that a questionable place was more eventful than 2016 in the JETRAY era.
Now to finish things off, let's take it back to Tuck for the last few years.
Thanks, Jack the Terror Skull. Now, 2016 wasn't the best year, to say the least, but 2017 would definitely be an improvement. Well, an improvement from 2016 anyway.
So in late 2016, my sister gave me the opportunity to move in with her girlfriend, and another roommate. I thought this was going to help even more. We got Wi-Fi, and I was a making machine. We moved into what's known as the Windsor Apartments, which I lived in for 2 years, and I believe one of the first days, I got my sister to help me with Normal Horse as a guest. A random 3-year return of Normal Horse. And in the year, I wanted to be known for talking about media, which is something that I kind of resent nowadays as well. I want to be known for what I make rather than talking about someone else's creation. Not to say that anyone who talks about media is like beneath me in any way, shape, or form. So I made several different series, one of which being Grotesque Brain, which technically this is not the first time Grotesque Brain came to be. I created it back in 2015, and it was not that good. It was barely scripted. Episodes were like 2 to 3 minutes. They're all done by me instead of having guest voice. And another big general difference was how the audio was. You see, back then I didn't have a microphone. And how I did audio back then was just get my camera, put it on its lens, and talk to it. Because that's how audio works. It was early 2017 when I got my tax returns, and I used that to get my Wacom tablet, and also a Blue Snowball microphone, which I am currently using, and an Elgato, which, unfortunately, my computer doesn't work with any Elgato product, so I just wasted $150, but it was kind of my own fault. I should have done research beforehand. 2017 is also a point in time when I tried to go through sort of a rebranding. I dropped the Gothic Slenderman name in favor of Hotel Room 103, which worked because I had a character known as the Butler of Time. You know how butlers often work in very pristine areas like mansions and hotels. That's what I was going for. Hotel Room 103 was mainly just me talking about media with Grotesque Brain, 5 creepy things from, and later on I eventually would create Cartoon Asylum, and 2018 I created Lost Cartridge. But in 2017, I started planning for what would eventually become one of my biggest mistakes, Crimson Kingdom. You see, Crimson Kingdom I consider a mistake because it was essentially just me being like, oh, I'm concerned that people aren't going to watch my main stuff, and the media stuff is going to overshadow it, so how about I make a second channel? Good on paper, right? But the problem was that it basically destroyed my channel. Like, any views that I had remaining from the strike that I got basically dwindled away to nothing. Mainly because of Crimson Kingdom. I should have kept everything on the same channel. There is some good stuff that came out of this, though it's very convoluted. In 2017, Rainbot Horror decided to allow a bunch of content creators to submit videos for what would eventually become 71 creepy YouTube channels, which I was one of the first on there, and I hate my video. A lot of people were just making videos like, oh, here's why you should subscribe to my channel. Mine was just, here's 3 weird reasons people can die. I'm not proud of the video. I should have done for more sort of like an ad like everyone else was doing, which I would get the opportunity to do that later thanks to Nightmare Expo, now known as Nexpo. He did something similar with the top 20 creepy YouTube channels. I believe that's what it's called, but I'm still not proud of the video on there either. It was mainly just, I'm Tug the Penguin, and here's why you should love me, instead of like actually showing stuff. I should have done like a hybrid between the two, which I would eventually get that opportunity, and I'll talk about that later. In the end of 2017, I also introduced one of my favorite characters, and that is Mr. Blank. I went to Spirit Halloween, and I saw this mannequin. I'm like, I have to have you. I need you. Can I have you? So I just bought him. He was like $60. I think it was for a half price thing too, because it was after Halloween. And I just thought he'd be a co-host. But now Mr. Blank has sort of evolved into his own character. I really like doing Mr. Blank. He's a character full of mystery. And despite the fact he's really simplistic too. His voice is literally just me going, and just putting subtitles over it. I love doing that sort of stuff. And that's why I like doing Mr. Blank, because he's a character that relies on just me being me. So despite being a co-host, he's technically more like me than the Butler of Time was. I also eventually created Void of Space, though I can't remember whether or not that was 2018 or 2017. I ditched Butler of Time because I didn't really like the aesthetic that was going on with it. I was more or less just trying way too hard to appear as gothic, and also it just was kind of dull because there were so many different content creators that do the whole, I'm in a suit, look at me. So I tried to be a little more different. Not to say I want those other content creators that appear in a suit to feel bad, and by any means. I decided to go ahead and create a Void of Space, who would essentially canonically be a brother to the Butler. I would have this big white mask that I painted over, and essentially would just wear my regular clothes. The mask was the only thing that was required, and maybe a leather jacket too, but I wouldn't mind going without it and just putting a t-shirt on. The mask is the only thing that's really required. But it was around 2018 when things really started to change for the better.
Now we're finally here, the 10th year of the JETRAY era. Now, it's not a complete year, so let's just catch up everything that's happened, especially with Zach's new life he's starting. With that being said, everyone, welcome to Texas.
Alright, this is it. The final year of the JETRAY era. And I'm sad to say there wasn't really that much that I did besides plan for Cackling Pumpkins. Early 2018 is when I started Crimson Kingdom, which, as you already know, I've come to regret. I should have had everything be on the same channel, like I said. However, I would come to realize this much, much later. I believe it was after I moved to Texas. You see, money was also getting tight again, and I wanted to go to college, but the problem is, one, money, and two, I didn't really have a lot of options in my area. I would have to move irregardless. My family decided, hey, we're moving to Texas. Would you like to come with? They have a lot of schools there. And I thought, you know what? Maybe this is what I need. Like a complete change of pace. Like, it's what Gothic Slender Man was supposed to be. So I decided to go down there and try to continue making videos traditionally. And then I just kind of decided, what am I doing? I kind of realized the mistake of Crimson Kingdom. And I thought, you know what? I need to just do what I want. I need to go ahead and do Let's Plays for fun. I need to go back to doing things for fun. Every single time I mentioned, oh, I'm taking YouTube too seriously back then, I still was. And I feel like no matter what, I'm going to take YouTube a little seriously for the sake of my content. But at the same time, I always took it seriously to the point where I tried to chase success. And I'm not going to shame anyone for wanting fame and fortune, but I'm going to shame people for only coming for just that and nothing else. You wanting fame and fortune, that's fine. Everyone wants that. I'd be lying if I said I didn't want to become famous through my videos or rich through my videos or the things that I created. but that's not my main goal. I feel like nowadays there's so many content creators that just jump on YouTube with the expectation of just fame and fortune and nothing else. And I feel like that causes YouTube to feel really dead creative-wise. So I decided, you know what? How about I just make something where I can be me? And if people like it, that's great. If not, whatever. At least I can say I made stuff. So that's when I made Cackling Pumpkins. I was thinking of the idea of the name, and I wanted to go for sort of a Halloween aesthetic, because the original idea of Cackling Pumpkins was going to be a daily horror channel. I would do things like horror game let's plays, vlogs, skits, and all that kind of stuff, some dark comedy stuff. But then I realized that's just me following success again. And what made me realize this, and what made me realize what I really wanted to do, was thanks to one YouTuber.
Every year I seek innovation and new presentation, and this time around, I know precisely how I want to incorporate that. What I want this year is you. In the spirit of Candy Bowl and Night Mine to the fullest, I'm cranking the community factor up for October 2018. This year, the showcase for new original creator content is open to everyone.
You see, Nightmind, also known as Nick Nocturne, announced what he was doing for Candy Bowl 2019. For those who don't know what Candy Bowl is, it's essentially his Halloween special where he shows a lot of undiscovered talent. He decided that he was going to let his viewers make content in a theme called 90s Nightmare, so essentially just, you had to make something that took place in the 90s or related to the 90s. I decided to go ahead and make sort of one of those montage variety shows like Kablam or What a Cartoon, and I made Tug's Coffin of Dead Jokes. I was originally going to do like a slasher thing where all the characters were dying. I wanted something that would be what I wanted to begin with for the Rainbot and Nexpo appearances. It would take sort of the original approach that the Rainbot video did, but sort of like advertising a bunch of stuff. There are even hints to future series that haven't even been finished yet. And you know what? This is the first time that I was proud of one of those videos that appeared on someone else's channel. I love Tug's Coffin of Dead Jokes. And after it was uploaded, I watched the whole thing. I didn't want to just be like, oh, I'm going to watch my thing and no one else's. And I loved it. There was a lot of great talent. To be involved in something with so many great creators brings me enough joy, which is why I still kind of like the videos that Rain and Nexpo made. I just don't like my submissions. But this is the first time I actually did like a submission. I revisited the video again because apparently YouTube doesn't tell me when people reply to my comments that I make in other people's videos. And will there be replies to me or even comments in Nick Nocturne's video? I saw just a lot of people saying that Tug's Coffin of Dead Jokes was one of their favorites, how much they liked it, and that brought me joy. I love making people happy. I love making people laugh, bring them joy, or even make them scared and thrills with horror. And seeing all these comments really just made me realize this is what I should do. My content, my characters still have a home. I was always afraid that because of the changes of YouTube, characters like Tug, Blake just don't work anymore, even if I were to change them. That era of YouTube seemed to be over. But now it seems to be kicking. It still seems to be alive, and I was able to witness that because of my own characters. I even saw someone refer to me as Gothic Slenderman, and I was like, I haven't heard that name in years. And that gave me the inspiration to do what I do now. Right now I'm just mainly emptying the Red Room series that was originally going to be for the daily schedule, and then eventually when that's done, I'm going to go ahead and focus on my passion projects. And it's all thanks to both Tug's Coffin of Dead Jokes and Nick. I want to go ahead and personally thank Nick Nocturne for forming Cackling Pumpkins to what it is now, because if it wasn't for the 90s Nightmare Candy Bowl, Cackling Pumpkins would have just been a repeat of the JETRAY era all over again. I also would like to thank Rainbot and Nexpo because I feel like they also had a bit of an influence on how I create content now. And with that being said, the rest of the year was mainly dedicated to planning Cackling Pumpkins. And I can't really say much happened after that, related to the JETRAY era. The JETRAY era was fun. It was a blast to do. I'm not proud of everything that happened in it, and I made a lot of mistakes, but I'm glad I was able to learn from them. Whether that be me being 12 years old, making one true media montages, top list, skits, characters. I love the fact I was able to do all this. I regret some of it, but to be honest, if it wasn't for the fact that I made those, made the content that I'm not very proud of, I would have never learned from those mistakes. I was able to grow into who I am now, and the JETRAY era was able to form Cackling Pumpkins into what it is. I want to take this point in time to thank people who have helped me throughout the JETRAY era, whether that be personal friends or family, like my sister, my sister's friends, my personal friends, my family. I believe maybe some teachers even helped out too. I just can't name any. People who have collaborated, whether they be voice actors for stuff like Grove of Spring Memories, the Candle Cove creepypasta reading, and even the YouTubers who helped forming Grotesque Brain into what it became, such as Lance's creepy reading, Nordic Vampire, Lily C Nation, and Graveyard Golgotha. Also, Lazy Creepypasta for helping me with another collaboration. It was the Top 10 Disney Creepypastas, which I still like that video too. It was one of my personal favorites I ever made. I also like to personally thank Rainbot, Nexpo, and Nick for help forming me into the creator that I am now, and I guess in a weird way Blue Lava 6, though it's not really by a video shown, it's more by something behind the scenes. I'll probably talk about that another day. The JETRAY era was fun, but all things come to an end. I want to make YouTube something where I can release passion projects, do my own thing with my own characters, series, show the characters I want to make, and tell the stories I've always wanted to tell. And even if it doesn't work out, that's perfectly fine. But with that being said, I guess I have to say this one last time. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to like, maybe favorite, and subscribe if you'd like to see some more. And with that being said, one last time, we all see fish on the ceiling at least once in our lives.
Well, that was a wild ride. From penguins, bisexual boxers, torturous skulls, fires, a poor education, a lifeless mannequin, the gothic subculture, and a slender man to boot. It's been a fun 10 years, but we're not stopping here. YouTube may be constantly falling apart, but that's no reason to give up. We never stopped when we were locked out of JETRAY 102. Depression never stopped us. Hiatuses only gave us more time to improve. I can't exactly promise what'll happen next, but I'm excited to see what happens in the next era.